Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon, real estate professionals. You have joined the Agent Advantage monthly webinar series. My name is Kurt Klaus, and this series of webinars is brought to you by the Guarantee Rate family of companies and our Agent Advantage website. If you're not familiar with Agent Advantage, it is no cost. It is our proprietary website for all of our realtor referral partners across the country. It is technology and coaching and our tools, and it's all about you to help with efficiencies, to make you look good to your clients. So check out Agent Advantage. We have a couple versions of the site, agents.rate.com for guaranteed rate, agents.grarate.com for our affinity group, and agents.properrate.com for our proper rate company. I want to give a mention to the website. Also, we have an Agent Advantage Insider Facebook page group. If you're not part of that, go to Facebook, Agent Advantage Insider. It's a closed group. All of our content, all of our news, all of our webinars like this one, where you can go and check out and see what's going on with the Agent Advantage team. So moving right along, today's webinar, we are excited. We have one of our own, Mark Dimitrio. He is not only one of our top originators, but he is one of the top mortgage originators in the country. Mark has appeared on the Mastermind Summit with Tony Robbins and Karen Corcoran, and his best-selling book is out. Mark, thank you so much for being with us. The title of the book, Lessons from My Grandfather, Wisdom for Success in Business and Life. How you doing today, Mark?
Hi, thank you for that intro. I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me on.
Great. So the book, I didn't read it. I listened to the audio version of the book, but fascinating. Loved it. Drew me right in. So start with telling us what inspired you to write the book. Did this come much later or during your time with Charlie, your grandfather? Did you know you had a book there? Did he know you were writing this book?
Yes, a great question. So, you know, ultimately, probably 10 years after my grandfather passed away, it was one of those like epiphanies. One morning, I just woke up and said, it is just a shame this man is no longer on this earth because he's just such a plethora of knowledge and wisdom and goodness and inspiration and just mentorship, just an unbelievable human being. And I said, it's actually selfish of me not to share him with the world because I was so advantaged in life to have him. So I wanted to share that advantage with the world. And I wanted to really take the time, effort, and money. And it took a lot of all that to write and publish and get a book out in the world. And that was really the reason I did it. I wasn't thinking about making money on it, or it wasn't about fame and glory. Just I really wanted to share his goodness with the world and give them the advantage I had. It was really all about that. So I actually sat down that morning and started writing notes and just went at it. So it was really more that reason.
Yeah, great. And we just think that the topic is great for our agent audience, and it's inspirational and it's motivational. And during your time with your grandfather, was he telling stories? Was he, teaching and educating you, or were you just kind of observing him? And did it happen once you achieved your success and now you're thinking, how important grandfather's life and his lessons were to you? Or did, it kind of, you knew that as it was going on during your adult life?
Well, when I had time to reflect back on it, not while it was going on. So, he retired around 60, when I literally was born around the same time, ironically. And, he passed when I was 37. So I literally had him for 37 years of my life. And we were always with him. He was literally my best friend, my mentor, my grandfather. He was always with us all the time. And, he was just, when I got a chance to reflect back on my life, like I didn't realize during those 37 years how much he was really mentoring me or how great he really was. I just loved being with him. But when I had time to really write and reflect on it, he was always telling me stories, always telling about life in general, the hardships he went through, little tidbits of anecdotal information about, how to get through life. And there's a lot of, wisdom points I have in my book and knowledge based, Charlie's points of life. But he also he would be in Florida half the year and up to Jersey half the year later in life. And he read like 3 papers a day, and he would literally clip out every day, anything to do with finance or health or business or family, like just great articles that he felt I needed to read. He clipped them out old school and he'd mail them to me in an envelope. So almost every day I got stuff in the mail that I would read. So he was just doing it. We never sat and he never said, I'm going to be your mentor and I'm going to teach you the world, kid, and you're going to learn a lot from me. Like he just did this. Like, and I didn't think much of it. He told me about the stock market. He told me about, what he went through. I mean, not to spoil the story, the man left home at 16 years old from his country with nothing because he was poor and wanted to get ahead in life. So, just extrapolate that to retiring 60 a millionaire and you realize like what this man went through. So, I just really never realized the mentorship part of it until I really, again, later in life, started writing that book, the true depth of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, love it. And so, I mean, the book itself, 15, I love how it's kind of laid out, clear cut, 15 simple but really effective principles for success in life. I think it should be life and success instead of success in life, because to me,
Right.
it means about, how you look at life, but kind of go into his 15 principles and what you think are the main ones and how he would share those.
Right. It's funny you said that because the way, obviously everything from the cover and the title, everything's craftfully like thought out. And like with a lot of people that were consultants, I was bouncing things off. You want to make sure everything's perfect when you do these books. So it's about success in life and business because success in life is not enough and success in business is not enough. So it's really about being a success in life. And just not to go on a tangent, but success is not about money or fame or glory. Success is just leading a successful life. And that's with family and friends and siblings and kids and business associate. Just being a successful person in life means being a good person and opening the door for people and helping others in need. And just that's what life is. And, it epitomizes really who he was. And like some of the best bullets or lessons that he had that stayed with me, which is, one of the most profound ones he always said was, be awake be awake and alive to the suffering of others. He would always say that because all through his life, he helped people all through his life. Even when he had 2 dimes, he'd give them 2 cents. When people needed a place to stay, he'd find a place to stay for them. Like they needed a job, he helped them get a job. Like he would just always, the ear was always open to listening to people when they're having problems or things going on, like just trying to help or be a solution. He was a great listener and a great doer. So that's a profound one, be awake and alive to the suffering of others. And that just goes to everything, be volunteering, be a good person, to stay on volunteering for a moment. People, any motivational stuff I've done or stages or radio shows, whatever, people when they're down and out, one of the biggest and best ways to get out of a funk is to go be a volunteer, go help someone in need. Because the euphoria from being a volunteer or helping people in need, the chemicals in your brain that go off because of it. It's a natural high. So it really is a way to fix your down or your depression is really go out and volunteer and help people. It really, because there's always people worse off or always people in need. So not to go on a tangent, but that's a big one for me with him. So, attitude is everything was another really big one. This man woke up happy every single day. And I could tell you, I woke up happy and I still do every day of my life. And nothing's perfect. No one's perfect. Life is hard. Life is life. I mean, there's people that say like, if you have more happier days than not happier days, then you're doing well in life. Life is life. You have kids, you have siblings, you have divorces, you got financial setbacks, you got sickness, you got deaths. I mean, life's crazy. Everyone around you is going to die one day. If you die before them, it's one thing, but it's just life is tough. So you just got to wake up, be happy to be alive, and make the best of every day and make joy out of it. So attitude is everything. It's just when you get up, it's a new day. I'm alive. Let me make the best of today. Is the glass half empty or half full? I mean, you can go on and on with all those stories, but that's a big one. Attitude is everything. And just a couple of the other things like going the extra mile in life. Like I'm all about like everything you do in life, you can do 1% more. You could do a little bit more. You could help a little bit more. You can encourage a little bit more. You could study a little harder. You can work out a little harder. Everything. You do 10 reps in the gym, do 11. Your kids are, they ran a sprint. They got this time, working at a harder time. Like everything you do in life, you can improve. All of us can improve on everything we can do. No one's perfect. So I think going the extra mile says a lot. There's people like Kobe Bryant and, Magic Johnson. They talk about the greats out there that, what made them so great among greats. And they'd say, I got in earlier and I stayed later. I worked harder than most of them. And they're all great. So, you can relate that to everything in life, going the extra mile. And I think, these are some of the more powerful ones that really, to me, mean a lot, as far as I can go into all of them, of course, but that's just some of the powerful ones.
I mean, your grandfather was not a power CEO or mogul. And I think this book is for everybody. It's not just for entrepreneurs or people in the business world. It's, I think, people young and old at any stage of their life can benefit from Charlie's lessons here. So maybe talk on what he would say to a young person that's, I think one of the quotes in the book was, success is a choice. What would your grandfather Charlie say to a young person that's still kind of looking or trying to choose what they want to do in life?
Yeah, that's perfect and well said, because the book really in my mind was from like literally 16 to 85, because at every age someone can get something out of it, and that's the best part about it. The older people love the relationship I have with my grandfather and the knowledge and the wisdom. They just love that because they're grandkids, they're kids themselves. And people that are 16 to 40, there's just so much to learn in life, because again, whether you had a mentor or not, like just to learn the insight of just really a man that left home at 16 by himself in the middle of the night saying, I will not be poor. I will be not stuck in this country. I'm going to go make something of myself, be something in life, send money back to my family, just make something of my life. And that's it. So the point is, if he was able to say things to people, which I try to get in the book and out of the book for people that read it, is that you really can make your life anything you want it to be. I don't care what you're born into, whether race, color, creed, money, no money, doesn't matter. This man started with nothing, right? And back then, listen, Greeks were a minority in 1929. Greeks, Irish, we were a minority back then. He was. So the bottom line is, it just comes down to the will and the faith and the drive and the confidence and the ability just to do the right thing, work hard, get ahead, make friends, be a good person. Like, these are just simple things, right? Simple things this man did. So it's more of a simpleton mindset, but a good mindset. So I think for the younger people, and I've had the pleasure of speaking on many stages for younger places of high school and colleges, and done a lot of things on that level. And for me, it's enjoyable to be able to be in front of those people and let them know that your whole life's ahead of you. It's like a matter of like, what do you want to do in life? What do you want to be in life? And I always go back to say, like, if you want to be the best lawyer in the country, the best doctor in the country, the best, whatever tool maker in the country, there's so much information now on the web than there was when he was growing up. There was no TV, no radio, no phone back then, right? Just make your own business plan of what you want to do to get ahead. Like, read the best books or interview the best people in those spaces, and you have your roadmap. Like, they'll tell you what they did or what it takes to be successful. So I think from this book, I want people to understand, like, you could be anything you want in life. You could be as successful as you want to be, monetarily, not monetarily, whatever direction you want to go. If you lay out the plan, like this man had a plan in his head, and he attacked it like relentlessly, right? So that's the really the goal here, is people understand that you can be anything you want in life. You could have any life you desire, but you got to put the time, effort, and money sometimes, and energy into it to make it happen. And that's really all it comes down to. But you got to have faith in yourself. Whether you have faith in God or a higher being, that's up to you. But have faith, powerful faith in yourself, like he had, and faith that things will work out. Or faith things will be okay. But always be moving ahead and moving in the right direction.
Yeah. And not only, like, I think anyone reading the book could just benefit by just seeing each of the 15 standards. But like you said, believe in yourself, but also your grandfather's point was to always learn from others and find mentorship in others and learn from what other people have done.
Absolutely.
I want to get to, you're in the business and want to get your opinion on what you think that a real estate agent specifically could get and maybe take from this book, knowing the profession and knowing the industry as you do. How do you think this book can benefit someone in the real estate industry?
Yeah, it's a great point, because whether you're just starting out or you're, in the middle of your career, or really, really doing well, there's always to be something to be learned from the book. But I think for me, when you look at just business and success and people in general, right? People want to do business with people they like and trust, right? It's all about that. They tell us, when I grew up in life, it's all my family, my parents, my grandfather. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. All my life, and there's a million books out there talk about who you know and the connections and all that goodness. But I think for the realtors out there, they have to understand a couple things. And I've had the pleasure also of being on stages in front of thousands of realtors talking about how to be successful in real estate. So I love this whole topic too. And I've done a lot of seminars at offices and real estate offices. But when you look at an agent, right, there's a couple pieces to be successful. I want to drill right into it, whether it's the book or just the knowledge. But a couple things that agents are short-sighted on. every agent to be successful, you need to have an assistant. It's the number one thing I tell all agents, whether you're just starting out or middle of your career, you have to have an assistant. I don't care if you share one with 5 people or look for the top producer and give them money to share their assistant. You
Mhm.
have to stop doing the non-revenue producing mundane chores. You have to. Doing the contracts, putting this stuff on MLS, following up with paperwork. You got to get out from the things that don't make you money. So the number one biggest mistake realtors are making is doing some of that stuff. You got to have an assistant to do a lot of that stuff. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't care if you're in the business for 1 day or 50 years. You have to exude confidence, exude expertise, exude knowledge. And how do you portray that when you've been in the business for a month and you're sitting in front of a person trying to get a listing? Well, you got to come to the table, be the most knowledgeable. You got to know you did the homework on the school systems, on the PTA, the sports, the town, the academics, everything about the town. Know the business, know the house, know the market. Be an expert. I tell everyone, no one's perfect, but be an expert. Come in prepared. And when you're prepared like that, I promise you, no one's going to say how long you've been in the business. You don't have to bring it up. I've again had the fortune of working with a lot of young people and training a lot of salespeople in my life that worked for me and with me. And whether they were 20 or 30 or 50, the young ones were always insecure. Oh, I'm only doing this for a year. The people are going to see right through me. No, they're not, because if you exude confidence and expertise, they'll never ask your age. In fact, they'll be more impressed. So I think from the book, other than these things I'm talking about, I think just really the ability to be likable, be an expert at what you do, help others in need. Realtors, be helpful in your community. Get your name out by being a brand, being someone that's out and about, being likable, being known. Like that's how realtors do well. And then execute. Execute on your business, perform well, follow up, be available. Like that's simple, sales 101. But hopefully
Yeah.
these are just some tidbits of. I can go on and on for hours, but there's a couple little tidbits in there.
Yeah. And it's such a relationship business. You could take each of the 15 principles and, apply it to the real estate business, just like the mortgage business. It's all about the relationships, and each one is an opportunity to be memorable and to, wow your client and gain referrals and, be the expert. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, uh, knowing Charlie, my wife is Greek, so we also say Papu
Oh,
for
nice.
grandfather. But what do you think? I got to give him a little love on the webinar here.
Love it.
What do you think that Charlie? What would he think about his philosophies and his principles being in a successful book like this, and for having it be about him? What would he say right now, knowing that this is all about his life and his standards,
Well,
knowing
that smile you see on his face would be the smile he'd have, no doubt about it. And I know he's been with me my whole, all these years since he's been passed. I'm 50. I'll be 53 in March, but it's been a long time without him. But he's with me all the time. We were super close. I know he's with me all around me. For this man, he was such a humble man. That he hated phonies. He grew up with people that became really successful and pompous. He stopped hanging out with them. He was just a really grounded person. So for him, the beauty of knowing that at least all the things that he really wasn't trying to mentor me, but is in a book that's helping other people, he would love it, and for him, it's just a matter of knowing that he really did something good in life to memorialize all his wisdom, or I helped get into a book that can help others would be really, really a big thing for him, but he was never one to be a show off. He told me one time, like just real quick story. So when he was the last 15 years of his career, he managed the West Side Tennis Club, and I think it was Forest Hill, Flushing. I forget where it was at the time. But this was the 50s and 60s. Like horse racing and tennis was it. This is what the big to dos, the people with money did, right? So he wore his black tux every day and ran the whole show. He was one of like 3. He was the food and beverage manager who ran all the food and beverages for the whole facility. He knew Frank Sinatra. He knew the Kennedys. Like Frank Sinatra, he had his personal credit card. Like he said, listen, Charlie, when my friends come in, and you know who my friends are, you make sure you take good care of them when they come in here. Like he was at that level. So quick thing is when we were at family parties and everyone's doing their thing, he whispered in my ear, he's like, these people have no idea the life I lived and what I was involved with. And here I am retired now, smoking my pipe. Like, I don't talk about it, but people have no idea what I was mixed with. And that's the kind of guy he was. He was never pompous, never talked about it. But like, even I didn't hear like all the stories. But just to give you an example, like he would really relish in this excitement knowing that this is out there.
Yeah. Great. Lots of great stuff from the book. Aside from the book, you've also co-hosted the Real Estate and Money Show. Can you share anything you've learned from that experience with our audience about the the business and how maybe it ties in with the book and tips you can give agents with that background?
Yeah, that was amazing. I actually did. I did this show for a full year, and then I actually stopped to write the book. Believe it or not, so it was just right timing. But yeah, the wisdom and knowledge. 'Cause I actually made a point to bring on a guest every show. So I had just, and it was really geared towards everything to do with real estate and finance, really, which is everything. So I'd have a different guest on, whether it was about financial planning, estate planning, wills, home inspections. I mean, we had so many different people on. So the knowledge I gained from it was amazing, and we had a great viewership and listenership, not viewership, but was able to, just really. I wanted to bring knowledge. I wanted, anything I do, it's about bringing knowledge or bringing goodness, not about just doing stuff, right? So there really was a lot of people listening to gain knowledge each time, and so really, really great time, good experience. To learn how to be on a radio show and have that help me in my speaking career, and I mean, with the book to some degree helped as well. But it really was a great experience.
Yeah, great point. As a real estate agent, think of your communication with your clients for all the weeks and months and years that you're not in a transaction with them is just to provide knowledge to them, like you said, and stay connected with them and be the expert and be remembered and known. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing in the book or what you've written is super complicated, but the simplicity and the two that I love are purpose and passion. So to talk about how your grandfather taught you about those two things, how that's helped you become successful, and what those mean to you, purpose and passion.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I have a chapter titled Purpose and Passion on Purpose because in the next chapter after that's actually an attitude is what you do to get there. But, when you look at like my grandfather, for example, like his purpose, right, was to get ahead in life, to make something of himself, to be able to provide for his family, send money back for them, and just get something out of life and not just be stuck on the island of Cyprus poor. He didn't want that life for himself. So his purpose was to get ahead in life. And he just had it in his head, no matter what, he's going to get ahead in life. And the passion for that drove him as well, was his passionate about everywhere he went, everywhere he talked to, I'm going to get ahead in life. And, the two of them together is a very powerful thing. So his passion was dealing with people, doing a good job, working hard, enjoying life. That's all his passion built into his purpose, which was getting ahead in life. So his went hand in hand perfectly. But those two words are very powerful for anybody in life, whatever you're doing. I always tell my kids too, you know, if you put 110% into whatever you're doing in life, you'll never be disappointed. And I tell them that whether it's sports or your friendships or your as a sibling or whatever you're doing, just do it with your all. And they tell that to sports figures if you're on the field, like whether it's 1 minute left or all four quarters, go out there like every minute's the last minute and just kill it. So this is the way you just take on life. And if you take it on at that level, with that passion, you just really can't fail if you have the right mindset, the right direction.
Yeah, love it. And then I'm sure agents at this time of year are thinking about putting a plan together for the upcoming year. He spoke on having his purpose and a plan, like his life plan or his goal, like about how having a set plan and how important that is.
Yeah, I mean, so look at realtors, for example. I mean, I'm a big proponent of writing down your business plan. Like, I'm not a big guy for the 80-page plan. I'm all about that. I love the checklist bullet list plan. So I encourage everyone listening, whatever career you're in, but realtor specifically, we're focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
December's a great time to literally, in quiet time by yourself, which you should do probably once a month minimum, anyways. Revisit your plan at minimum. Write down all the things you need to do to be successful. Everything, and you write down your wish list. I don't care if it's hiring an assistant, spending 10,000 on marketing. You write down everything on there you think you need to do to be successful. You got the things you can do, and then you got the goals or wish list as well. But you write down that plan of attack. You look at people around you that are successful. You need to read some books on real estate to get more knowledgeable on success. But you write down your plan of attack, and if you write down everything you need to do to be successful, then put the plan behind that bullet list to make it happen. And you can't do it all at once. I mean, it's easy to hire people to just do it all and just be successful, and then you spend all your money. But the most important thing is to have quiet time. You have to write down a plan of attack that's That's what your plan is. That's going to work for you with the time that you have on a 7-day week, work week, and hours per day to write down the plan of what you need to do to be successful. And then you got to work the plan. You got to revisit the plan because things change. And if you do that, you really can't fail because you're laying out what needs to get done, and be realistic about it.
Yeah. And he also said there's something to learn from every person that you come across in life. Could be,
Yeah.
someone on the street, and to put that into, for a real estate agent is to have coaching as part of your, business plan, have mentorship as part of your plan, have getting better or learning and reading and kind of improving part of it too, according to one of your grandfather's standards.
Yeah, I'm going to mention two things quickly.
Yep.
Two of his quotes were, never do it alone.
Yep.
You can't do it alone. He always said you got to be surrounded by the right people, learn from people, keep your ears open, listen to people around you. Don't think you know it all. If you even know the punchline, let them finish because they may say it differently. He was very big on that.
Yeah.
And he said you can learn from everybody in life, everybody, anywhere, any age, anywhere you are. You can always learn from somebody. So keep your ears open and listen to people. And I think what happens here is, and this is going to shock you too. So I've been on stage at times, like 3,000 people in the audience, talked for a while, and like maybe 2 people come up afterwards and like ask me some questions. And I've been at smaller venues where 80 people, maybe 2 people come up. I'm always shocked by that because I'm the guy that would have been the one going up talking to the speaker, like, hey, that was great. Can I just pick your brain for a second? Or, hey, can I get your email? Ask you if you have any questions. I'll email you. Like, that was me. I'm always shocked that more people don't come up and ask, but that's the 1% rule, I guess. I mean, the top 1% are 1% for some reason because they're the ones going the extra yard, right? Like, all I can encourage people to do is you got to be able to go up to people and speak to them. Like, if you're in an office with successful people, ask the top agent if you could pick the brain for 5 minutes, whether you're insecure or you think they'll be upset about it, or just you don't want to feel like you're just you're bowing down to them. I don't care if it's in a different office. Ask people that are successful what it takes for them to be. People love talking about themselves. Trust me, they do. So if you ask for their ear, they'll speak to you, and you can get knowledge from 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 different top producers. You got your business plan. So I encourage people, ask the experts around you. If you're a nice person, they'll share some tips. They won't give you all their secrets, but there's a lot of great books out there. Trust me, people will put their secrets in the book rather than tell you one-on-one because you're competition. But definitely go out of your way to learn from the best, read from the best, watch the podcast, watch all this stuff on the web. There's so much information, but definitely learn from who's doing what. You can Google, how do I be the best real estate agent? Tips for the best real estate agents. It's all out there. So I encourage people to do that part, and then be a sponge for life, be a sponge for knowledge. Don't be afraid to open your mouth and ask people for help. I tell my kids too at school, if you want to get straight A's, ask the teacher, what can I do to get straight A's? I guarantee they'll say, you want to do some extra credit projects? Here, do this. Maybe you need to study harder. Maybe do a little better on your quiz. They'll tell you. No different than sports. Coach, why aren't I starting? Well, you're not fast enough. You're not strong enough. Great. Let me work on that for next season. Right. So think about this. This is life. Very simple.
Yeah. Yeah. You make it sound so simple.
Yeah, it is.
It's also doing it with consistency. I'm not sure you personally, how often each day that maybe one of the standards comes into your head, but not only did your grandfather have these like strong standards, but he lived them every day for his entire life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he lived a life that knowing he was always a solid individual. He told me he'd put his head on his pillow at night and sleep in a second. And he said, you know why that is? I never hurt anybody in my life. I never stole a penny from anybody in my life. And I slept like a baby because I know I was a good person. And that always stuck with me. When you're good in life and you're a good person and you don't try to beat anybody to get around or beat the system, you just lead such a better life. And I wish more people understood that. Just work hard, be a good person, do good for others, put the time and effort in. Listen, nothing is easy in life. I promise you. I've been working since 11 years old with paper. I haven't stopped. I mean, nothing's easy. You got to put the time, effort, and energy in. I mean, you have 24 hours a day. Sleep 6 and work the other. Sleep 6, work some, volunteer some. Be there for your kids. Just do whatever it takes in life. He really worked hard, but he knew he was a good person, and he was always there for other people. He was an expert at whatever he did. He was Mr. Hospitality. That was what he was in life. That was made for that. So it was in the perfect career for him. Managing restaurants, running that West Side Tennis Club. He was a maitre d' in life. He just loved it. But he was very organized, very efficient. He was a great people person. So he found his knack. He found his thing. So I think for people, it's important to be doing whatever you do in life, that whatever it is that you're doing in life that you love. I can get back to that. That's a simple thing people talk about. Love what you do. You'll be more successful. It's important in life. Whatever it is you're doing, you just got to really make sure you love it and you're passionate about it. And the passion will ooze out, and you just almost can't fail when you're passionate about what you're doing. It's addictive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure that he would be smiling knowing how many people and hundreds and thousands that he's helping every day who are reading his book and learning from him, just as he taught to learn from others.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he knowing, no, again, he would get a kick out of knowing this is all memorialized in a book for people to learn from, but he never thought he was a teacher, never thought he was a mentor. He just, like I said, it hit me 10 years later, like, wow, what great stuff I was brought up on. Amazing information. I just got to share him with the world. So just who he was, just his fabric, he's just blessed to be that driven person,
Knowing about, covered passion. We covered, how it is a choice, and, planning, talk about agents who are now thinking about next year and putting their plan together. Other than kind of digesting all 15 of these standards, what else do you think Charlie, would give as words of advice to anyone who's sitting here just thinking that they're in the rut, or they're stuck? Is it just a kind of a kick and a jump start, or is it just a mindset, as he mentioned in the book too?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a mindset, and I know. I mean, some of his quotes were, go the extra
Yeah.
mile, never stop believing in yourself, be thankful for what you have is a whole different angle. But, I think the fact is, you know, all of us in our industries go through ruts, right? And the way to get out of ruts is to hunker down and figure out a plan to get out of it, a plan of attack, right? So when, I love when it's slow. I got to be honest with you. When it's slower, that's when I do my best marketing and I do my best thinking, because when it's slow, I'm like, I have time to think about marketing and what I want to do and make my bullet list and just start attacking it. And then it gets busy again. And then you kind of hire people to do that sometimes. But I think for agents in general, listen, it's not an easy business. There's more real estate agents in this country than there are listings, to put it in perspective. So, and I think as an agent, the most important thing is, you have to be memorable to your client. You have to wow your clients. Your response, how do you wow them? Your response time's got to be incredible. Your professionalism's got to be incredible. Your follow through's got to be incredible. Getting the job done, doing what you say you're going to do, and go the extra mile. Do something extra most realtors aren't doing. Do that little extra something, whether it is a gift or doing something more, or connecting them with the right people. Be a connector. Maybe have the person for the driveway, for the pool, for the contractor, for the roofing, but be a connector. And by doing that, you're going to be giving out leads, and that's how you get leads back, by the way. And let me stay on that for 1 second. As a realtor, you should have a list, a top 10 list or 20 list of the people that these homeowners will need, from sprinkler systems to dog walkers. And you should be able to supply that list to your clients. And you should tell everyone that's on the list, you're on my gold list. My clients are going to get this list and you're on it. Now, for that, I expect you to think of me as well and try and get me business. So if you can get me business, you'll stay on my list and we'll work together. This is a partnership, more of a strategic alliance. I think it'll be helpful for both of us. I guarantee you, if you just do this, if you take away this one thing from this whole hour, however long this is, you will get more business from that alone. So that's one of the things I forgot to mention I always like to talk about, is having that power hit list. When you give out leads, believe me, people are thankful and they'll give leads back to you. So now you're bringing added value to your client, and they're very thankful for that. And then I think just being involved with your client. I think doing extra things like, maybe get them invited to a PTA meeting, or get them invited, or figure out how to go to like the local sporting events. You can learn a lot from a town if you get involved, if you get to see a PTA meeting or a Board of Ed meeting, or go to some of the local sports. Encourage your clients to do more stuff like that. Like, think outside the box. Do something different that other client realtors aren't doing. This is how you grow your base. It takes years to build a base for as a realtor. I will encourage you also, try and focus on an area rather than like I do everywhere in the state of New Jersey, let's say if you're in Jersey. Like focus on an area, maybe one county or a couple towns, be the best there and get to be known there, build the base there, and then maybe build out from there. That's something else too. I see a lot of realtors just chase the business. The last thing is don't be afraid. This is how you become successful too. You need to manage your time. Don't have time. Don't have your clients manage your time. So let me say that again. You need to manage your time properly. Don't have your clients manage your time. You need to block out the time so you could get your job done, whether making calls or doing marketing or following up, so that you know when clients say, "Can you take me out for this listing?" Sure, I have between 3 and 5 o'clock today, or between 9 and 1 o'clock tomorrow. What works for you? Like, don't go by what they say and then run screws your whole day up. Have your plan, work your plan, be consistent, and just attack it, and don't give up on yourself or anything you're doing.
Yeah, that's a great point. And people on the call, you know, if this is you, and people say to work on your business instead of just in it. And you know,
Yeah.
if you're being reactionary and chasing versus being in control, like you said, in having, you know, a set plan to follow and being in control of your day and your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one of the things I loved about the book too, and it may have been, you know, unintentional by Grandpa, but I just found it so inspirational. And he's not a motivational speaker, but just him telling his story. And as you told the story of his life in the first 2 pages, how he said, "This is what I want to do, and I'm going to get it. This is where I want to live. This is what I want my life to be. This is who I would like to marry." And then, you know, just, you know, again, believing in yourself and knowing that you can, you know, achieve any goal that you set. So it's setting big goals and then going after them.
Yeah, I think there's no question in my mind. He had tremendous faith in himself.
Yeah.
He did have faith in a higher being too, but again, this isn't about what people believe in outside of that. But he just had tremendous faith, and the affirmation part about your brain being such a powerful machine, and believing it's going to happen, and knowing it's going to happen, knowing you knew to make it happen. Like he knew he needed to leave Cyprus and take a boat to Greece, and from Greece, this is a 1925. From Greece, he needed to get a boat to London, and from London, then he could get to America. He knew that was the plan, so he got a free ride, fed the animals on a boat to get to Greece, worked there for 2 years, saved money to get to London, worked there for 2 years, saved money to get to America. And he happened to walk in America 3 weeks after the stock market crash in 1929, which is the worst depression we ever saw. So he was on food lines, living in an apartment with 6 guys. So this guy had a rough life, believe me. And he, when you talk about one of his bullet points is take the mighty risk, one of his lessons, that's a pretty big mighty risk to risk your life to get here. But like you said, he just kept forging forward, and he truly believed in what he was out to do in his life. And he had true belief, and the affirmations in his head, knew it'd be okay, knew he'd get it done. It really is the truth. I mean, people don't understand how powerful your brain is. I don't allow myself to think negatively. Life is crazy, but I don't think about negative stuff. I don't think about yesterday. I just fuel my brain with positive information. I keep out the negative. And it's just stay focused, and don't waste time on things that aren't getting you in the right direction. Like he always said, stay focused on the direction of your dreams. Move ahead. So it's all about that.
It can be easy today to, with so much negativity being thrown at us from so many different sources too. So I think it's almost, more important today. And if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to?
Yeah, absolutely. He was very strong on that. Very, very strong and very, very big on that. Even with himself, even when he was just mentoring me, just believe in yourself, believe in who you are, believe in yourself as a person, but be a good person, strive for excellence, strive to be an expert. No one's perfect, but be good, be thorough, be striving towards perfection, be striving to be an expert, help other people, be a good person, be someone people want to be around. I mean, it's just simple stuff. This guy got ahead in life because who he was. He was a likable guy, happy guy, worked hard, someone you want to have on your side. He's 5'3", nothing, height wise, but just a great guy. Think about it. When you're in a room of people, or you were in high school and college, you want to hang out with, if you're like this, you want to hang out with people that are positive, that are upbeat, that are happy, got a smile on their face. Like, think about that attraction to life, and think about someone that's the opposite of that. Like, so think about who you want to do business with. You want to do business with people like that, or the opposite? So, it's just if you get a grasp of life and real perspective of it, forget the money, forget the fame, forget the glory, forget who you want to think you want to be and the richest person in the street. Forget all that crap. Just be the best you can be the best person, and all that'll come. But it does require hard work, time, energy, no question about it.
Yeah, so simple, but so powerful. And again, I think anyone reading and seeing the 15 points, you can't not affect you and make you think about it. So again, lessons from my grandfather, wisdom for success in business and life. And I saw a list of your children's names. Is Charlie a son or a daughter?
So Charlie's my youngest daughter. We named her. If it was a boy, it was going to be Charlie Charlie. We named her Charlie EY because she's a girl. My middle name's Charles after my
Yep, I saw that.
grandfather. So we had to have, her name. Actually, her name is Charlie Anna after my grandmother as well. So yeah,
What an honor. Charlie,
yeah,
lives on. That's awesome.
yep, yep.
And tell everyone on the call where they can get and read a copy of your book.
Yes, I would definitely visit grandfatherlessons.com. It's grandfatherlessons with an S.com.
Mhm.
There's a lot of great information on there, pictures of the book and little tidbits. But you can click on a link there. It takes you right to Amazon. Actually, is the best place to get it. I have a ebook, audiobook, hardcover, softcover, all on Amazon. It's on BarnesandNoble.com and a bunch of other places, but Amazon's the easiest way just to get it there. And like I said, I have all formats, which again cost me time and money, but I want to make sure the book was out there. So whatever your preference you have, it's available to you.
Yep. We'll make sure we get that. We can add that to this webinar, add it to the screen. So again, thank you everyone for being on the call. Hope this is you get as much out of this as I did by listening to the book. And again, this is all part of the Agent Advantage webinar series. Agent Advantage Insider Facebook page. Check that out too. We'll put how you can get more information about those two sources on the webinar here. And Mark, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you for writing the book. I want to thank you for sharing what your grandfather passed down to you with everyone here. And again, thanks for your time and for being here.
No, thank you. I had a pleasure doing this. I mean, I love this. I haven't done an interview in a while, and I love it. It's another side of me that just doesn't come out often. But as far as talking about this much, but I love it, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Great, well done. Okay,
Thanks.
everyone, have a great day. Appreciate you.
Yeah.